So, Stuart, we're going to discuss one of your biggest pet peeves.
Oh, boy.
When you go into churches. All right. And it's not that somebody ran their own video cable. You're cool. Like, we support DIY.
Sure. Yeah.
You want to run your own video cable? You want to save a little money? That's cool.
Yeah.
But what are all the issues that you often observe when people run their own video cable?
Well, there's a couple things to know about. Let's just break it down to digital video.
Oh, right.
Okay, so with analog video, color would go out, and you'd notice the color went out. Red would go out or whatever.
Most people probably don't even know what analog video is.
Digital video is either on or off.
Right.
There is no in between. And you may have experienced this before, like if you've got your projector and your image is cutting out. Well, that's a problem. It's
Signals.
on or off,
Yep.
on or off. And so usually we're running a long distance.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go from a computer to a projector or to a TV or something. We're probably back by this, in the front of house, sound booth area, and it's got to go to the stage or up in the air or something. So you're talking about a long distance. The longer digital video travels, it degrades as it goes down.
More susceptible to interference.
Yeah, exactly. And you're pushing a pretty large package down this pipeline. Like if
HD video's gotten very large.
HD video is pretty big. So there's a couple things to know. And disclaimer here, what I'm about to say, you don't find on the internet. Because the only way you would find this kind of stuff on the internet is if you talk to somebody who does it and troubleshoots it all the time. So yeah, okay, sure, we can talk specs, we can talk why don't you compress your video, chroma subsampling, all that stuff. That's the kind of stuff.
Buzzwords.
Yeah. You can find all that kind of stuff on the internet, and then if I do 1080i instead of 1080p, it's a smaller package and it should work and all that stuff. Yes. That's all good stuff, and you should know those kind of things because you want to send a light package down the pipeline and all that kind of stuff.
These basics are way more on just the infrastructure side.
Yes. When we run cables, there's two things to know. Let's just say we're running Ethernet cable.
Right.
So like a Cat
HDM
6
over Ethernet.
Yeah. So there's UTP and there's STP. Unshielded twisted pair, shielded twisted pair. When we do video, we always do shielded because it shields things. But the stuff that you're not going to find on the internet are things like when you run your cables, you've got a battlefield between your front of house and your projector.
Even in this room, you look from front of house to there's all these lights.
Yeah, there's lights everywhere.
Projector.
Lights really want to screw up video. So when we run cables, a lot of times we're up in an attic and we've got a long run to do. Well, we look around. Okay, where's the MC? Where's the power? Where's the can lights? Where's the
big deal too.
all that stuff. And we make sure to get it in a way where it's just away from all that stuff as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because that right there is the key, is to just keep it away from all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff that the internet's not going to tell you. The internet's going to want to tell you about all the specs, all the stuff that you can do. And you do need to know that because once you are confident with your termination on your cables, and you're confident that you've ran it in a way that's minimizing interference, then the specs come, into play and all that kind of stuff.
But it wouldn't matter how great of a HDMI over Ethernet transmitter receiver package you purchased. It wouldn't matter how much money you spent on it, or it wouldn't even matter what video spec you're sending down that line. If the line is ran incorrectly, it's going to have problems.
Or terminated incorrectly. Mm-hmm. If you're, the thing with, let's just stick with Ethernet, RJ45, that's a bunch of wires, bunch of little tiny wires going into a connector that you're crimping. The connector matters, the tool matters, the cable matters, how you strip the wires, all of that stuff matters when it comes to terminating the cable. The actual cable itself matters quite a bit too. So there's a lot of factors outside of just...
And the length of the cable matters.
The length of the cable, HD-based transmissions, 300 meters in a perfect
Best
world.
Case scenario.
The way I like to say is, and that's only if your box will allow it.
Meters.
It's did I say 300 feet, 100 meters, whatever.
Meters.
If you were to lay that out in a parking lot, that's 100 meters, not running up a wall over, whatever. We've had so many troubleshooting days where I've been on the phone with tech support with really smart people, and I've learned a ton just talking to some of these people, describing these scenarios, because that's the nice thing about what we do is we're in these situations all the time where it's already broken. and we're trying to make it work.
Well, and that's the thing is in a lot of cases you could DIY it and follow best practices if you do, but in the long run you probably save a lot more money by just having a company like
Well,
us
because
come in
the
and
company
run
will
it.
say, okay, at Lona, for example, is
Yeah.
one company that we use. They make a 70 meter, make a 100
Yeah,
meter.
you have to specify the right
You have to
gear.
know, like if you're going 300 feet somewhere, you can't use the 70 meter one,
Right.
or you can't just go get on Amazon and find a little. That's not even technically a lot of times HD base T.
No.
But you know what I'm saying? You could definitely save money, and it might work.
It might work.
But a lot of times
you're rolling the dice.
Yeah, you're rolling the dice.